Welcome to the Rogers Center in Toronto. Back-to-back nights, the roof is open. It's Game 2 of a 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Everybody, I'm Don Orsillo along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, it's kind of been an up-and-down season for young Xander Bogaerts. Right now, Jerry, it's kind of on the upside.
Yeah, it is. He's been swinging the bat much, much better, I think, over the last 5 games. And we have a graphic to show you right now what I mean by that. It's the 333 batting average for him. Now, it could be higher than that, but at least it's a step in the right direction. He's got a home run, walked a couple of times, he scored 6 runs, and last night was 3 for 5. And what impressed me about him last night is the fact that he had all good at-bats against off-speed pitches. And there's a breaking ball on his first at-bat that he lines out to third base. Very good contact, staying back on that ball. A curveball that he shoots the other way. Very impressive again, and then a changeup that he pulls. So that shows me that his balance right now is pretty good at the plate. Hopefully that can continue for him because, you know, if he starts staying back on those off-speed pitches, taking the breaking ball the other way instead of the swing and miss, that average is going to climb pretty fast.
A pretty amazing offensive output last night for the Red Sox. They'll try to keep it going tonight. What a night last night for David Ortiz. Not 1, but 2 home runs. And in fact, he moves it past the Hall of Famer, Carl Yastrzemski, with his 2nd home run last night. They'll try to keep it going tonight. First pitch from Toronto's coming your way next. Dunkin' Donuts. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. AllRadine.com. Celebrity golf instruction and much more. Your New England Subaru dealers. And by Citizens Bank. Hey, welcome you back to the Rogers Center in Toronto. Roof open again. Red Sox and Blue Jays getting ready for the 2nd game of this 4-game series. And it's time to take a look at our Chevy key player in the last 5 games. Stephen Drew has had it going defensively all year. Starts to get it going offensively. Hitting at .412 in the last 5 games with a triple, a home run, 4 RBIs, and .467 average against right-handed pitching since July the 11th. So Drew has been contributing to this Red Sox offense to the point last night where the Red Sox had 14 runs in the ballgame. Looking to do more of the same as we check in with Gary Streisky.
Long, we've been talking about the guy who needs to step up every single game to give these guys an offensive boost. Last night you could have thrown a dart at the lineup and hit a guy 1 through 9 that had a profound impact on the 18 hits, 14 runs. But the Red Sox, they don't want to be greedy. They just need a guy or two to step up every single night, as John Farrell explains in our Geico quote of the day.
I think any strong stretch of games that we're involved in, we're going to get somebody stepping up on different nights or a different player stepping up on different nights. And when you get multiple guys performing, that's when you see the runs scored as we've done over the past 5 to 6 games. So it's just good to see guys coming along. And we've talked about Jackie, but I think Stephen Drew, over the last 5-7 games is back to, I think, the level of production we anticipated. And he's in a pretty good place right now.
Now, talking about Stephen Drew specific, like you were mentioning, Dio, his third home run of this season. John Farrell said, listen, he already got his 60 at-bats out of the way. That was pretty much his preseason, his spring training. He's up over 100 at-bats, so hopefully we see him continue to add on that 175 batting average and those 9 RBIs.
All right, Gary, thanks very much. Well, back in the lineup again tonight as we check out the Red Sox starting 9 as Blue Jays have taken the field tonight. Brock Holt tonight moving from right field to center field as he leads it off with Dustin Pedroia at second base. David Ortiz, a DH in the 3 spot with Mike Napoli at first base. Johnny Gomes in left field tonight with Shane Victorino back in there playing on the turf tonight in right field with Stephen Drew at shortstop batting 7th. Xander Bogaerts, we highlighted as part of the open tonight at third base, and David Ross does the catching. He bats 9th. Tonight's Blue Jays starting pitcher is presented by New England Nissan dealers. Jay Happ on the mound tonight for the Blue Jays. 18th appearance, 14th start. He comes in at 7-5 with a 4.91 earned run average, 64 Ks to 33 walks, and opponents hitting at 283 against Happ. Last time out, a win against the Red Sox in Boston, as it was a 5-inning effort, giving up 4 runs in that outing, but he didn't get the victory.
Let's take a quick look at the Toronto defense. Kawasaki at third base, Reyes the shortstop, Goins at second, and Francisco the first baseman. Left to right, Melky Cabrera, Anthony Gose, and Jose Batista, and Deanna Navarro doing the catching. Jay Happ.
Well, the umpiring crew tonight, Paul Nauert has a plate. It is Gabe Morales at first base, Angel Hernandez at second base, and Larry Vanover is the umpire at third. Jay Happ ready to go. First pitch of the ball game is just going to miss for ball 1. Well, Happ trying to have a better outing tonight than the Blue Jays pitching had last night, as everybody they threw out there the first few innings really had a tough time.
Yeah, Happ has not made a start since July the 7th when he took a loss against Tampa Bay, only going 4 1/3 in that game.
Overall 7-5 on the year as Holt sends one back up the middle, but Reyes was there behind the bag at second, and his throw is in time to get Brock Holt.
Little surprised to see Reyes playing Holt that far to pull, especially against a left-handed pitcher. You see where he's playing almost directly behind the pitcher and goes to the second base side of the bag to make the play. We've seen him pulled over that much with a right-hander on the mound, but very seldom with a left-hander on the mound.
So 1 down here in the top of the first inning, and it brings up Dustin Pedroia. He was not part of the hit parade last night. As you said last night, Joe, there's always one guy that is not part of it.
And it seems that way, Don.
Last night, Dustin did not have a hit. He was 0 for 4 in the game, and 272 average, 4 homers, 37 runs batted in. He took extra BP as well. Was here early this afternoon.
It's one of the positive things about having the big lead last night. They were able to get out of the game a little bit early. Give them a few innings off, let them rest some.
Takes it in the dirt, 1-2. Pedroia against left-handed pitchers. 252 average on the year. There's David Ortiz waiting on deck. And Pedroia will take strike 3. He's looking for something else. He is out number 2 of the first inning.
Yeah, confused right now. He takes a fastball basically right down the middle of the plate. They wanted to go away with the fastball. It cuts the plate and certainly well above the knees.
So 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Brings up Big Papi. 251 average now, 22 home runs on the year, and 68 runs batted in. This will bounce in for ball 1. We had 2-run home runs last night as Big Papi taking them both off Brad Mills, and Mills was designated for assignment today by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, they saw enough of Mills last night.
That was it. Ortiz with a swing and a miss. Good fastball.
Good velocity on that fastball at 93 miles an hour.
Mentioned that second home run moving past Yaz. Now 453 career home runs. 36th all time. Ortiz fouls it back and evens a count at 2-2.
David upset with himself there. He missed an off-speed pitch that was right over the heart of the plate and fouled it straight back.
Well, 52 home runs for David against Toronto in his career. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Happ struck him out. Fastball again. There was a 1-2-3 first for Happ. The Blue Jays coming up. In the bottom of the first, and tonight's Red Sox starting pitcher, presented by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new 2015 Audi A3 today. Jake Peavy's 20th appearance of the year, 1-8 with a 4.59 earned run average. His only win came against the Blue Jays back on April 25th. And trying to get his second win of the year. It's a 7-inning effort, giving up 1 run against the Jays. Jose Reyes leading it off for Toronto and drives one to right field, sending Shane Victorino back. He's got room and makes the catch in front of the warning track. Let's check out the Blue Jays starting 9 tonight. Jose Reyes has just flied out. He's the shortstop with Melky Cabrera in left field. Jose Bautista in right. Diana Navarro does the catching with Kobe Rasmus, the DH tonight. Juan Francisco shifts across the infield from third base to first base. Inori Kawasaki at third base. Ryan Goins called up today at second base. And Anthony Gose in center bats ninth. One down for Melky Cabrera. He'll take strike one. We're at 305 with 12 homers and 48 runs batted in. 124 hits on the year for Cabrera, ranked second in the majors. As he fouls it straight back. Well, fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now with the MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all season. Tonight, Preplay predicts Jake Peavy goes 6 2/3, allowed 3 earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. This one fouled off to the left out of play.
Now, last time out for Peavy, 9 strikeouts in the 7 innings against the Houston Astros. Left for the games tied 2-2, but did pick up the loss in that game against the Astros.
He's probably looking at all the runs last night.
Yeah.
It was tonight.
Don't be afraid to save some for me.
Swing and a miss. Off balance cut for Cabrera. First K of the night for Jake Peavy.
Peavy going to the curveball to pick up the strikeout against Cabrera. Cabrera's a guy that's had very good success against Peavy throughout his career. 429 coming into the game.
1-2 down here in the first inning for Jose Bautista. Back defensively in right field. He's the DH in last night's game, but nursing a sore hamstring lately, and chops one on 2 hops to short. Stephen Drew throws him out and ends the first inning. A 1-2-3 first through 1 without a score from north of the border. Rogers Center in Toronto without a score as Mike Napoli leads it off. Red Sox down in order in the first inning, and Napoli will take ball 1. It's Napoli, Gomes, and Victorino in the second. A solo home run in last night's game. He'll take the strike. Didn't agree.
And they do not put the full shift on him in the infield, but they certainly are pulled over very much for him to pull.
Coming in with a 5-game hitting streak as he'll take ball 2. Three for 5 in the ball game last night, including that solo home run, and he scored 3 times. 2-1 is popped up. Right side into shallow right. Out goes Goins. Bautista calls everybody off and makes the catch. The summer is in full swing, and so are specially priced Red Sox tickets for students. Student tickets are available for every Sox game. Tickets start at just $9. So go to redsox.com/student to take advantage of this great offer today. And as always, a fair amount of Red Sox fans here in Toronto for this 4-game series. Play tomorrow night and then Thursday afternoon before the Red Sox head out to Tampa Bay. One out here in the second inning for Johnny Gomes. Johnny ended up in the game last night. Came in defensively, did get one at bat, and was 0 for 1 in the contest. A big home run Saturday night against Kansas City at home. Pinch hit 2-run home run.
To the fastball. It's a fastball, curveball, changeup for Happ. That last pitch, the breaking ball, the curveball of Johnny Gomes.
Gomes will take the strike over the inside corner. '14th start of the year for Happ. Also appeared in 3 games out of the bullpen this year. Began the year in the DL with a back problem. Swing and a miss. Johnny Gomes down on strikes. That's 3 Ks already for J.A. Happ.
Now back to the curveball that time to pick up the strikeout against Gomes. Strikeout high in the season is 8, which he did against the Chicago White Sox.
Now 2 down, 5 in a row retired by Happ. And it brings up Shane Victorino. 255 with a home run, 10 runs batted in. Victorino did not play last night. And John Farrell trying to manage his playing time here on this road trip, and really playing the next 2 games with this entire trip spent on artificial surface.
He did not play last night, but he did have an extended workout here on the field. Did a lot of running on the field.
Down the right field line, this will land foul.
A lot of agility work, so probably getting used to the turf and see how he bounced back today, and everything seems to be fine. So that's good news for Victorino and the Red Sox.
Berkshire Bank, America's most exciting bank. Visit berkshirebank.com or one of our locations in New England and New York to discover how big bank resources combined with small bank attention can help you find your exciting moments. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. One-two pitch fouled back. Still 1-2.
Upstairs by design that time against Victorino. Barrow the catcher giving Happ that fastball sign, and he wanted up around the letters.
Victorino lines one out of the reach. Goins it into right center. Anthony Gose will get it back in, but a line drive single for Victorino. First base runner of the night for Boston.
Hey, Victorino's been pretty impressive since coming back swinging the bat. That ball was supposed to be inside. Instead it stays up and away, and you see where the second base is playing Goins. It goes right up over his head for the base hit.
So 2-out base runner for the Red Sox, and here is Stephen Drew. 175 average, 3 homers, and 9 runs batted in for Drew. Jumping on the first pitch, fouling it back. 2 for 4 night last night, including a home run. Able to drive in 4 runs in last night's game. 3rd home run of the year for Drew. 7 hits in his last 16 at bats. They do have a bit of a shift on here for Drew. They move Jose Reyes, the shortstop, to the right side of the infield, just to the right of the bag at second.
Yeah, that happened just prior to the pitch. He was in motion and while the pitcher was in the set position.
Outside, 2-1. The last appearance Happ had was actually out of the bullpen. The final game prior to the All-Star break. Jerry mentioned has not started since July the 7th. In the air down the left field line. Long run for Kawasaki and for Cabrera. It's going to be caught by Kawasaki over the shoulder. He had to check to make sure, but he made the grab. Good play by Minoru Kawasaki. Going to go a very long way to get this. He wasn't even sure he had it. Back in Toronto, Red Sox and Blue Jays are scoreless as we venture into the bottom of the second inning. Yonder Navarro, Kobe Rasmus, and Juan Francisco bat here in the second inning. Navarro drives one out towards deep right center field. Back goes Holt towards the wall, and that ball is going to be off the wall. Heading for second is Navarro, and he will get there standing. A wild throw gets by everybody. It's backed up by David Ross no further. Advance for Navarro. And then he's got himself a double. He was running. He thought he might have gone out of the ballpark the way he was acting, but it did not.
Yeah, that's what I thought when he made contact, that it was a home run. He gets a cut fastball away and hooks it. And Navarro, of course, it does not run very well at all. You know, has it bounce off the wall, and he has to stay at second base with the double. That was good, solid, hot contact there by Diana Navarro.
So first hit of the night, first base runner for the Blue Jays. Kobe Rasmus, the batter. He's the DH tonight for Toronto. .221 average coming in, but does have 13 home runs. 29 runs batted in for Rasmus. Check swing foul. Well, Thursday on Bruins Summer Face-Off Live, Billy Jaffe and Andy Brickley have all the latest news on the trade market for the Bruins. Take a look at the big stories in the NHL and get to know Bruins first-round pick David Pastrnak. Catch all that and more Thursday at 4:30. 1-1 to Rasmus. A swing and a miss. Fastball running away.
Yeah, Rasmus, of course, a dead pull hitter trying to hook this ball, and very good movement on that fastball from Jake Peavy.
Not had a lot of success against Peavy in his career, just 1 for 9. This block by Ross, couldn't find it initially, but no advance for Navarro.
No, for Navarro to get to third base, the ball would have to roll somewhere near the dugouts. there is no way that he's going to be able to advance on anything that's that close to David Ross.
Not impressed with Navarro's wheels?
No, it's not, that is not his strength, Don. It's not his strength.
Swing and a miss, and Rasmus strikes out. Second strikeout for Jake Beebe.
Let's look at the Red Sox defense. They're 8th in the American League with 16 errors on the season. Xander Bogaerts at third base. Stephen Drew, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. Mike Napoli at first. Left to right. Gomes, Holt, and Victorino. And David Ross doing the catching tonight for Jake Beebe.
One out Navarro at second base, and Juan Francisco coming up. He's got good power. 14 home runs for Francisco. 35 runs batted in. 236 average coming in. He was at third base last night. Tonight starts at first base for the Jays. And take strike one. The Jays, of course, without Brett Laurie. They're without Adam Lind and Edwin Encarnacion, and it makes their lineup look a lot different. The absence of those three. Not a great deal of protection for Bautista. He's got Navarro hitting behind him tonight. Jays trying to weather the storm here and continue to play the way that they did in the first half. They're 51 and 49, 2 games over 500, and 4 games back of the Orioles, tied with the Yankees for second place in the American League East. That's what they're missing in Edwin Encarnacion, who's got the quad injury that has him out right now. 26 home runs, 49 extra base hits, 104 home runs since 2012, and we saw that show earlier this season. He wants a new baseball, and he'll get one from Paul Nauert.
Now, there was a time when it looked like that the Blue Jays might run away with this division. They were playing that well and building up quite a lead. And then the injuries started to come, and they fell back to the pack.
On the ground, foul outside of first base. Standings in the AL East, the Red Sox with a victory last night, now 7.5 games back of the Orioles, who lead the division with 54 wins so far in the year. And a swing and a miss. Francisco down by way of the K. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Peavy. And with 2 outs, and check back in with Gary.
Guys, the new Scion TC poll with tonight's poll question: which defunct team would you like to see return? Sox 1 for the Hartford Whalers, Sox 2 for the Los Angeles Raiders, Sox 3 for the Montreal Expos, or Sox 4 for the Quebec Nordiques. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates, those may apply. Text help if you need it. Visit NESN.com/terms for all that fun legal stuff, guys.
It's a tough one for me, Jerry.
You know, I can't understand why there's no football in Southern California.
It's unbelievable. I mean, think about the market
amazing
size that the NFL would not have a team there. To me, is
in LA. I mean, it's
one time they had 2. You had the Rams and the Raiders,
right,
both in LA. Hartford Whalers was great when the Whale was there and part of New England. But the Montreal Expos, that one, I enjoyed going there in the early portions of my career, going to Montreal and the Expos. And I know they had an exhibition game at the end of spring training. The Blue Jays went and played in Toronto, or in Montreal, an exhibition game to see how the fans would, and they came back out again. And they would need a new place to play. Olympic Stadium was not a terrific place to go.
That was a horrible place for a baseball game.
But it would be great to have Montreal back in it again. As they moved to Washington, and now the Nationals. Nori Kawasaki batting with 2 outs, and Navarro at second base.
What a defensive play he made to win last inning. Wow.
Strike call, 2-1. ground in Lincoln. Kawasaki nods his head in agreement.
I think he might have called it on the swing. Here's a look at the Kawasaki plays in the shift, and he's got a long way to go. Slows up, picks up speed again, and never loses concentration with the baseball. That was an amazing play.
Kawasaki will take strike 2. A generous call there. Full count.
And so far, quite a few curveballs for Peavy in this game tonight. A good one right here that'll pick up the outside corner. As Don said, generous.
Morrow, the leadoff double, still standing at second base. Now Peavy wants to talk to Ross. Don't miss Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Sammy Hagar, his journey through the history of Rock Tour at Foxwoods Resort Casino Saturday, August 2nd. For tickets and information, visit foxwoods.com. There's Navarro at second base with 2 down here in the second inning. Payoff pitch to Kawasaki. And a late swing and a miss. Very tardy on the cut. 92 on the fastball as Peavy strikes out the side. On Instagram. Be sure to follow us now by visiting Instagram.com/Nesson. Third inning without a score from Toronto. As Xander Bogaerts leads it off David Ross, then Brock Holt. Jay Happ has given up a hit in 2 innings, has 3 strikeouts. Nice night last night for Xander Bogaerts. 3 for 5 of the ball game last night. Now hitting at .239. Shoots a foul off to the right out of play.
I was looking out towards right field, and Batista really playing shallow against Bogaerts out there. And even 2 strikes now, he comes in even a little bit more.
It's jammed and fouls it back. You know what game number this is tonight, Jerry?
This is number 100, Don, if I've got my scorecard correct.
That's a hundo.
It's a hundo.
Hundo. 62 left after tonight's contest. On the ground left side to the backhand goes Reyes. His throw is going to be just in time. Not much of a stretch from Francisco, but they get the job done.
Now Francisco moving from third base last night to first base tonight. Here's the play by Reyes. Took a little bit longer than I think he wanted to there. And there's a stretch that, well, it's not going to pull a groin or a hamstring or anything, that's for sure.
He's not killing himself, too.
No, he wasn't exactly getting out there.
One down here in the third, and David Ross coming up. Fouled off to the right, out of play. His 6th home run of the year on Sunday against Kansas City. He's had 4 home runs in his last 10 games. Sharing time with Christian Vazquez. Red Sox have 1 hit tonight, a single by Shane Victorino in the 2nd inning. J. Happ, of course, having a very scary situation last year. Suffered a skull fracture and a sprained knee. Struck by a batted ball off the bat of Desmond Jennings and the Tampa Bay Rays in May of last year. Ended up missing 3 months. First game that he pitched in this year came on May the 5th. This one is rattled into center field. A line drive base hit, but Ross comes up lame as he comes out of the box. Not a base hit, but looked like something pulled on him. Appears to be okay. They're going to come out and check on him now, but as soon as he get out of the box, just pulled up.
Let's take a look at David Ross as he makes his move toward first base, and you can see right there, after about 2 steps.
Stay in the ball game for now anyway. Well, now 1 on here is Ross with a base hit, 2nd hit of the night for Boston. Brad Pearson out there with John Farrell to check on him. Here is Brock Holt, 2nd time through now for J. Happ.
The way he pulled up, you might have to think it might have been a hamstring problem for David Ross.
Holt trying to bunt his way on. Had a bit of a shift on him, at least for him to pull anyway, with Kawasaki over towards short. He tried to drop it down, but fouls it off.
Yeah, and Kawasaki was well behind that bag at third base that time, too. Now he was about even with the bag with the count 1-1.
Holt will take the high strike call, 1-2. Vasquez grabbing some catching gear, coming back from the clubhouse area. Actually, he's going in now. And he goes, moves over towards left center, gap out there in right center. And Brock Holt fouls it back. We'll do it again, 2-2.
Vasquez in the dugout just waiting to get the word, if there is a word, to come from John Farrell about the condition of the David Ross.
Chop to first. It is a fair ball out there. Throw to second out there. Had to be a tag play. And they slap the tag on to end the inning. Double play. And it's the top of the third. We'll get you a view. We come back to Toronto. Register for the NXIVM 24-hour Green Monster ticket giveaway. There's a chance for you and your family to win 4 tickets to the coveted Green Monster seats, courtesy of NXIVM 24-hour. Now we head to the bottom of the third inning. Ryan Goins hitting it off and fouling the first pitch back from Jake Peavy.
A lot of roster moves made today by the Blue Jays, and Goins getting the call back from AAA.
Yeah. .150 his batting average this season in the majors. He was hitting at .285 in 79 games with Buffalo. Here are the moves today. Ryan Goins, Ishmael Rogers, Aaron Sanchez all called up. Eric Kratzer did the catching last night. Darren Mastriano we saw in the outfield last night. And Brad Mills, who was really roughed up last night, was designated for assignment. Goins takes that just outside.
Nice pitch, though, by Jake Peavy, trying to pick up that outside corner with the cut fastball.
Swing and a miss as Ross got to throw him out. David clears the runner, fires down to first for the out. That is 5 strikeouts now for Jake Peavy, 1 down.
In the second inning, Peavy struck out the side. Erasmus on a curveball. Then Francisco on a fastball. Kawasaki very late on a fastball. And it was a curveball getting Goins to start the third inning.
1 down for Anthony Gose. Center fielder batting out of the 9 spot at .236. Homer, 6 RBIs for Gose. Still struggling at the plate, 4 for his last 21, hitting at 190. Call back up on July the 12th, 5th stint of the year with the Blue Jays. Did not have a base hit last night. Ghost went 0 for 3 with a strikeout in the game. Kind of lost in last night's game with all the offensive talk was how well John Lackey pitched.
He really did, and you know, once the Blue Jays fell behind in that game by a large margin, they started swinging at a lot of first pitches and really made it easy for John Lackey.
Bills fouling it off, full count. Lackey picks up his 11th win of the year, leads the staff in wins. Fouls it off to the left out of play. Do you know the signs of a stroke? The Stroke Center at Beth Israel Deaconess, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, reminds you fast treatment can save lives. Learn the symptoms at bidmc.org/stroke symptoms. There is ball 4 down and in. Peavy walks his first batter of the night. That's after 4 straight strikeouts. He walks a number 9 man.
Yeah, upset with himself because of that. Been walking the number 9 man in the lineup. The guy that has been really struggling at the plate. See what the pitching's done over the last 9 games. The 8-1 record, 2.11 ERA, only 15 walks, 78 strikeouts. Very impressive.
1 down, 1 on. Jose Reyes. Runner goes. Reyes takes a pitch and it is dropped by Ross, and Reyes went in head first. Otherwise, he may have been able to keep on going. But pulls up at second base with the stolen base as Anthony Gose.
Number 6 on the season for Gose. He's been thrown out 3 times, but on the transfer, trying to be too quick. Ross never gets contact with the baseball in the throwing hand. Toronto does not run very much. They are 12th in the league in stolen bases. But Gose not wasting any time there.
In there for a strike, 1-1.
They may have to play a little different baseball with all those guys you mentioned, highlighted, that are out of their lineup because of injury. It's a lot of home runs on the disabled list.
Yeah, the way they used to win is not going to work right now. The way that the roster is constructed with all the injuries. 1-1 has popped up. Shallow right. Pedroia backpedaling, calling and catching out number 2 of the inning. Well, Jerry, one of the larger complaints you have with this building, and one that I have as well, is how far you have to go to get to the bathroom here at the Rogers Center. So tonight's view is from where we actually sit to where you have to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's a long way.
It is a long way, and you got to do it in less than 90 seconds in between innings. And we're not even to the stairs yet.
No.
Only down the stairs here. Keep in mind, my friend Jerry has had 12 knee surgeries in his life.
That's right.
Very difficult to get through all this. Now you're on your 3rd level of. You're not even there yet. Now you're behind the radio booths. And finally, you're at the bathroom here at the Rogers Center.
Yeah, and I try to do that between innings.
And that's only half the trip. You got to come back.
You got to come back.
That's not round trip right there. That's one way.
There have been times where I thought about, peeling off.
Going back to the hotel.
right straight there to the hotel, because I'm just totally out of gas by the time I get back up here.
Yeah, it's a long way.
And going down doesn't bother my knee. It's coming back up.
Oh, that's the problem?
Yeah.
It's only going down.
Yeah.
Well, I should have gone the other way then. I should have started down there and then come up here.
But it doesn't help. That's for sure.
2 down. Goes at second base and an 0-1 pitch. Melky Cabrera.
I think we've reached a new low.
Don's view?
Don's view.
Trip to the bathroom.
Show where the bathrooms are at the ballpark now.
Well, this is game number 100. That's 100 views. I was just thinking about it today. We were talking about it during the game last night and looking for a little creativity. Not exactly Martin Scorsese, This is right back off Peavy, off his leg. He's got to run it down. He does, and his throw's going to be late. Gets away. Run will score. Heading for second base now is Cabrera, and he will be out at second base. Well, right off the leg of Peavy, ends up throwing it away, and the Blue Jays grab the game's first run. Both teams with 2 hits as Jay Happ back on the hill, dealing with 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Sox. As Dustin Pedroia struck out looking in the first inning, 1 of 3 strikeouts so far tonight for Happ. Blue Jays getting the first run of the game on a ball that hits Jake Peavy. On the turf, rolls all the way to the first base line, where Jake could run it down.
And I think if Peavy had to do this all over again, he would not make the throw to first base. He had very little chance to it again for Cabrera. And the throw goes wild. The run's going to score. Pedroia makes a nice play at second base, and they get the final out of the inning. But because of the turf and how far that ball had traveled on the turf, Peavy had very little chance at first base.
Red Sox have 2 hits in the game, single by Victorino in the second, single by David Ross in the third. Ross was quickly erased on a double play. Now Pedroia hits a 2-hopper out to Reyes for the first out of the 4th inning. From technologies that make your life easier to people who care about your community, Eastern Bank is committed to putting you first. Learn all the ways Eastern puts you first at easternbank.com. One down in the 4th inning for David Ortiz. Big Papi striking out swinging in the first inning. Did he go? They check. Yes, he did, says Larry Van Over, third base umpire.
Ortiz just shaking his head. He didn't like the call by Van Over. I think he did go.
50th pitch for Happ, and it's fouled back. David down 0-2. Ortiz down the left field line. This is going to fall fair and back to the 328 marker in the corner. David thinking too he'll get there without a problem, standing with a 1-out double that he takes the other way.
A very nice job by David Ortiz. He got the breaking ball from Happ, the curveball, and really did a nice job staying back on it and shooting it to the opposite field. When David goes to the opposite field, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's on the line or in the air. That time on the line right down the left field corner.
So first base runner, the Red Sox have had visit second base yet into scoring position. Napoli, a healthy hack for strike one, 94, and right down the middle. Napoli flying out to the right fielder Jose Bautista in the second inning. Tried to hold up, did he? They'll check. He did, says Gabe Morales, first base umpire. Napoli drives one out towards right center field. Again, Bautista will have lots of room. Makes the catch. Ortiz with bluff, draws the throw. Bautista's got a very good arm, and David not going anywhere. 2 down.
All Ortiz is doing here is trying to cause a bad throw from Bautista. There's no way he's going to try to go on him. Just hope that maybe one bounces by the third baseman. As Bautista going back, he's getting himself set up to make the throw. Very strong throwing arm. And Ortiz already in scoring position at second base, is not going to take a chance.
So 2 outs to give Johnny Gomes a chance. He struck out swinging in the second inning. And he takes strike one. Pop-up foul off to the right. Now, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 donation once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 2 down in the 4th inning. Red Sox trailing by a run. David Ortiz in scoring position. Johnny Gomes gets hit on an 0-2 pitch. A fastball that rides right in on him and hits him.
Now the sign from Navarro, they wanted to go upstairs with a fastball. Instead they go inside with the fastball and get Gomes right off that shield. Like a mosquito bite for Johnny Gomes.
First and second, 2 down, and Shane Victorino the batter. Victorino with a single to center field in the 2nd inning. Happ wanted that pitch, called the ball. 3 for 6 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position on the season for Victorino. And he'll take the strike. 1-1. Ortiz at second, Gomes at first. 2 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. In the dirt, not finding it right away is Navarro, but locates it. No advance for the base runners.
He couldn't find it right away, and when you're in second base, you can't see that sometime. You lose sight of the baseball. Ortiz doing the wise thing by staying at second base, not chancing it.
Swing there. Victorino got full. 2-2.
A changeup that time. There's a couple of changeups he's featured to Victorino in this at bat.
Two outs, 2 on. Count of 2-2 here to Victorino. And it's lined into right field for a base hit. We'll see. Ortiz going to be stopped because of the arm of Bautista. Even with 2 outs, not going to chance it. He would have been very out. So a wise decision there by Brian Butterfield.
That throw was on its way home before Ortiz got to third base. Ball hit very hard by Shane Victorino. A fastball away. Nice piece of hitting as he finds that hole between first and second. But to look at the positioning of Bautista, no chance at all for David Ortiz.
So now bases filled with Red Sox. 2 outs here in the 4th inning, and Stephen Drew the batter. He fouled out to Minori Kawasaki in the 2nd inning. And he flares one foul off to the left out of play. Well, the base is loaded. 2 grand slams in his career. 236 hitter in this spot. In the shift on the right side of the infield. Drew has batted only once this year with the bases loaded. 0 for 1. Drew with a swing and a foul tip for strike 2.
Coming up and in with the fastball that time to get the swing and miss from Drew. By design.
Ortiz at third, Gomes at second, Victorino at first. 2 down. Red Sox trail by a run. Ball 2-2-2. For Jay Happ, this would be what you would call a stress inning, as the Red Sox have them loaded, trying to preserve what is a 1-0 advantage right now for John Gibbons' Jays. Drew hits a fly ball to shallow left center. Bad break for Ghost. Falling fast, but running in is Melky Cabrera to make the catch. Good thing he did. Ghost got badly fooled. Still 1-0. Community Strong, that's what they've been named the #1 SBA lender in Massachusetts 5 years in a row. Easter Bank, here, you're first. Back at the Rogers Center in Toronto. Red Sox had a pretty good opportunity to score there, but cannot, as Happ gets out of the jam. And the Red Sox leave them loaded in the top half of the 4th inning. Jose Bautista leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th. Lines it to the left, and it's in for a ringing single right in front of Johnny Gomes. First hit of the night for Bautista. Well, tomorrow on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance, Sarah Davis and El Duncan will bring you live coverage from the Rogers Center, plus a live report from the Liverpool AS Roma match at Fenway Park. That's tomorrow, and it's at 5:30 p.m. on NESN. Jose Bautista with a single. Blue Jays pick up their 3rd hit of the game off Jake Peavy. Second time in 4 innings they've had the lead runner on. There's Deanna Navarro, who had a double off the wall in right center field in the 2nd inning. Takes strike 1 from Peavy. Give you an idea how different this Blue Jays lineup is right now. Navarro batting in the cleanup spot behind Bautista, guy who hits near the bottom of the lineup for the most part for the Jays. Spray one foul down the left field line, out of play.
Yeah, Navarro always has been a very decent offensive player. And John Gibbons forced to make that move really out of desperation.
Just 14 at bats in the cleanup spot in his career coming into today.
Bautista will go occasionally. He has 4 steals on the season. He's been caught one time.
Or the first, a little more authority on that throw from Peavy on the check of Bautista.
Just making sure they proved that they were going to run early in the ball game when Ghost stole second base. So a couple of checks on Bautista.
Well, Navarro on the 1-2, chops it to first. Napoli's going to go to second. They get the out there and the out at first base. They got Navarro running, get a chance to turn it. Close play at second, not so much at first. And they turn the double play, 2 down.
That's a good heads-up play right there by Mike Napoli because he knows Navarro can't run. So he comes in, he makes the backhanded play, get the lead man, and they still have plenty of time to turn over the double play. Good job by Peavy doing his job by getting over to cover first base. And he'll be at the other end of the throw from Stephen Drew to get the double play.
2 down in the inning here in the 4th, and Kobe Rasmus the batter. Red Sox into the shift now on the right side of the infield for Rasmus, and he drives this down the right field line, but foul. Had the distance, but to the right of the pole. Rasmus struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Jake Peavy with 5 Ks in his outing. Has 2 outs here in the 4th. Trying to come in on Rasmus. They do too far. 2-1. Juan Francisco waiting on deck for the Jays. Rasmus on the swing and a foul tip. 2-2.
See Rasmus's stance. He's very close to the plate. His hands just about over home plate as that pitch is coming in. See his hands almost right down the middle of the plate.
Another one foul. Well, Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games. Treat yourself or someone special. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. They off pitch again. And Rasmus strikes out. Peavy picks up his 6th strikeout through 4. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Xander Bogaerts gets it started here in the top half of the 5th inning. Happ's first pitch in there for strike 1. The 23 pitch 4th inning for Happ, got out of it unscathed, and Red Sox left the bases loaded. It's a piece of Navarro. 0-2. A professional courtesy here from Paul Nauert, home plate umpire, giving Navarro some time.
Took that one off the left shoulder.
In the dirt, and it is 2-2. David Ross, then Brock Holt here in the top of the 5th inning. Fly ball to shallow center. Ghost throws initially, now comes into right center to make the catch. Now, for every Red Sox hit in July, Echo Store Technologies will donate $50 to the Massachusetts Down Syndrome Congress. Echo Store is proud to assist MDSC in helping ensure individuals with Down syndrome to be valued, included, and given the opportunities to pursue a fulfilled life. To learn more, log on to echostore.com. Echo Store Technologies, your data center solutions provider. David Ross sends this down the right field line, and it'll get in. One hopper that jumps up over the fence, a ground roll double for David Ross.
And that
his way to second base.
Yeah, you're right. That certainly helps Don. That it bounced into the stands because Ross is really having problems running right now. Takes that fastball away, shoots it to the opposite field, bounces up into the stands, and Ross can just kind of cruise into second base. There's Ross as he rounds first base and sees that it bounces in the stands, and that's kind of a good thing for him.
Second 2-hit game of the year for David Ross. And a single in the 3rd, now a double here in the 5th, and Brock Holt will take a ball up and in. Holt 0 for 2. Grounded out to short in the 1st inning, then bounced into a double play in the 3rd. Strike 2, 1-2.
Now this is a much better outing for Happ than the last time he faced the Red Sox. He did get the win, but didn't pitch well in that game against Boston.
Well, fouling it off, staying alive here at 1-2. With Ross's 2 hits, he joins Shane Victorino, who also has 2 hits in the game. The other Boston base hit, David Ortiz, with a double in the 4th inning. Holt hits it on the ground, right side to Goins, the second baseman, who throws out Holt. Ross takes 3rd with now 2 down in the inning. Only 5 days left to enter the Red Sox Foundation's World Series ring raffle to win an authentic 2004, 2007, and 2013 championship ring. To enter, visit redsox.com/ring-raffle. And 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Ross at third base, and Dustin Pedroia the batter. So far, a strikeout and a ground out to short for Dustin. Pedroia 0 for 6 in the series so far. Popped up foul, out of play.
You know, sometimes when you watch guys that are in a slump, there are things that appear very obvious, and there's nothing really that sticks out when you watch Pedroia that he's doing any differently than when he's swinging the bat well.
I was talking to Dustin today before the game. He was talking about how frustrating it can be when you hit the ball really well and it's at people, and then the other times, you know, you're just scuffling, but you got it all going on at the same time. That's how you all of a sudden turn it into a slump. Here he is.
Yep, you're exactly right. You have good at bats. You know, if you have 4 or 5 a night and you have 2 or 3 decent, very good at bats, and you don't get anything to cash in with, it becomes very frustrating.
Wow, close pitch for the ball. 3-1.
Very, very close right there. And if I was Happ, I'd certainly want that pitch too.
It's the first 3-ball count of the night for Happ. There's ball 4. Down to first base goes Pedroia. So the first walk allowed by Happ, and it's 1st and 3rd with 2 down. Well, tonight's suits are designed by Joseph Abboud, now available at Men's Warehouse. Nesson is proud to support the Men's Warehouse National Suit Drive in July. Make a donation of gently used professional clothing at any Men's Warehouse location to give unemployed men and women a chance to look their best as they re-enter the workforce. To learn more, please visit nationalsuitdrive.com. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Big Poppy with a chance. And Ortiz hits a fly ball to left field. Melky Cabrera coming in to make the catch. The Red Sox strand 2 more. Boston has left 6 men on. It's 1-0 Toronto. The fifth inning, pitching line for Jake Peavy, brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Walked a batter, struck out 6, and guess what? No run support again tonight for Jake Peavy. What new? As Juan Francisco leads it off and grounds one foul. And Francisco struck out swinging in the second inning. 6 Ks on the night for Peavy. The worst run support in the AL. Maybe third in that category. Comes in at 1 and 8. Popped up, foul ground. Ross running over towards the dugout. He's got to play, and he makes it. Fair amount of foul ground here in Toronto, and Ross over there to make the grab for the first out of the bottom of the 5th. Let's stop now for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag NESNFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Tonight's fan photo is from Jeremy. He took this picture of a chance meeting with Wally. You never know when you're going to meet Wally. 1 down in the 5th as Kawasaki takes a pitch outside. He struck out swinging in the second inning. Shows bunt, grabs the attention of Bogarts, coming in at third.
Wonder what Peavy would do if he had a night like last night for the Red Sox offense. I don't think he'd know how to act.
No. Seems like they've been all these types of games too. The Red Sox have had their chances to score for him and cannot. Red Sox leaving the bases loaded in the 4th. They leave 2 on, 1st and 3rd in the 5th, and 6 total through the first 5. For Kawasaki to go the other way. Brock Holt in at left center. All kinds of room out there in right center. Kawasaki will take it up high and he'll head on down to first base. That is the second walk allowed by Jake Peavy tonight. Was a guy that got some runs, but pitched very well along the way as well. 7 innings, giving up 1 run on just 2 hits through 76 pitches. And no reason to have him continue to pitch last night, so they went to the pen.
Got a couple of guys, some work. Dubrant, Breslow, they were needed. And a nice, easy night, pitch count wise for John Lackey.
Low throw, Napoli able to dig it out as they check on Kawasaki. 9 out of 12 in his career as they meet at the mound. Strike call. He'll be trying to work his way around a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Good size lead now for Kawasaki. Goins will take it outside, 1-1. Goins called up just today by the Blue Jays. Shuttle going on right now between Toronto and Buffalo. Back and forth they go.
Now, at least it's not that far away.
About 90 minutes over and back to the bag is is Kawasaki again.
Is that before or after Customs?
Well, it's somewhere in the middle.
Customs can take a while.
Yes, it can. Anthony Ghost, number 9 man at center fielder. Waiting on deck. Another throw over. This one a little bit closer, but a lot of attention spent here by Jake Peavy on Kawasaki.
Now, Kawasaki does not have a steal yet on the season, but getting a lot of attention from Peavy and diving back. So he's about maxed out on his lead. 1 foot on the carpet.
Ripped and off the glove of Napoli. Stays with it. Peavy covers for the out. Throw to second base by Peavy just in case. Throwing it around. But they do get going. So a nice stop by Napoli. If he'd picked it cleanly, they would have had a double play.
Yeah, that ball was a rocket down the first base. And Napoli does make a fine play knocking it down. Keeps it from going down the line. Peavy doing his job coming first base. And then I don't know what Jake was thinking about here.
Just throwing it around.
Let's let it around the infield.
The meeting at the mound is Ross back out there again. I want to remind you to catch all of the second half action on MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live and in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit RedSox.com for details. Kawasaki in scoring position at second base, 2 down. Anthony Ghost, the batter. Walked, stole a base, and scored the game's only run back in the 3rd inning. So the walk of the number 9 man proved costly for Jake Peavy. Fouled off for strike 1. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. AL team lows. Blue Jays at 170. On the ground, foul, 0-2. Look back at all these outings for Peavy. How close the games, a lot of the games he has pitched in this year. We talked about the run support, but you look at the record, you go 1-8. Really? I mean, he's pitched much better than 1-8.
And scouts know that. Scouts that have been watching the Red Sox looking to make possibly a deal before the deadline. They're very aware of the fact that Peavy has pitched pretty well.
In the air down the left field line. Gomes headed over towards the line. Has got a play and he makes the catch. A little stagger, but he makes the grab that ends the inning. Coming up, Napoli, Gomes, and Victorino with the Jays on top 1-0. Foxwoods Resort Casino Saturday, August 2nd. For tickets and information, visit foxwoods.com. Sixth inning at the Rogers Center in Toronto, as Mike Napoli leads it off 0 for 2 in the game. And a swing and a miss. Napoli has done the same thing twice. Fly out to right field, and both times Jose Bautista up to the task out there in right. It's Napoli, Gomes, and Victorino to bat in the inning. Your Eastern Lexus dealers bring you J.A. Happ's numbers tonight. 5+, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, and 3 Ks. He's gotten out of some tough spots the last 2 innings. Red Sox leaving the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Runners at 1st and 3rd in the 5th, and this game remains 1-0 Toronto. Don't feel like carrying your stuff, just put it on your head. Strike 2. We thought about it, but it misses away. All the way, back and out of play, and do it again. 3-2. Be sure to be at McCoy Stadium on Friday, August the 1st, to get your own Paw Sox replica jersey. Pawtucket plays Syracuse at 7:05, and the first 5,000 fans will receive the Paw Sox replica jersey. Compliments of Nesson, Supercuts, Dunkin' Donuts, and 92 Pro FM. For tickets, visit pawsox.com or call 401-724-7300. Line to center field, and Mike Napoli's got a base hit to open up the 6th inning.
First time tonight the Red Sox have had the leadoff man on as Napoli runs the count to 3-2, gets the fastball and shoots it up the middle for the base hit. See what they can do with this situation.
And Johnny Gomes coming up, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning, hit by a pitch on the elbow in the 4th inning off that protective guard. That's a strike, and it evens at 1-1. .93 pitches for Happ. This is lined and into center field. Napoli had to wait as Ghost gets it back in. Make sure they get up over Ryan Goins, the second baseman. It does. And it's back-to-back singles for Boston to begin the 6th inning.
They had him positioned perfectly, didn't they? Look where Goins is. And the line drive right up over the glove. And of course, base to base, Napoli had to make sure that ball was not caught and get doubled off first base.
Pete Walker out there, the pitching coach, as Brett Cecil, the left-hander, has been warming this inning. Bob Stanley in behind him. We had a chance to chat with Bob today before the game.
I did. It was a nice little conversation in the Blue Jays clubhouse. Also saw DeMarlo Hale.
2 on, nobody out here for the Red Sox. There's DeMarlo. call. Shane Victorino's had a good night tonight against Happ. He's single to center, single to right, 2 for 2. Shane will take strike one. Let's send it down to Gary.
Guys, we know Shane Victorino can get it done with the bat, also defensively. So we want to know, where was he yesterday if he's already back with a multi-hit game today? Multi-hit game the last time he played against the Royals. Well, the Red Sox want to make sure, especially on this artificial surface, that they don't make that bum hamstring work harder than it has to. Shane was telling me before the game, it's a little softer and cushionier, if that's even a word, than grass. So it kind of makes the legs work a little harder. So they want to make sure he gets off his feet. As the ground's out there, but you can expect him to play for the rest of this series.
All right, Garrett bounces into the 6-4-3 twin killing as 2 big outs there for the Jays.
That's 2 huge outs for the Blue Jays right here. Victorino again hitting the ball pretty hard, but 2 steps to his right goes Reyes, and they have time to turn it over at first base. Frustration with the Red Sox bats here in this one tonight so far.
Napoli does take third base with 2 outs in the inning, and now Stephen Drew. Drew is fouled out to the third baseman and flied out to left, 0 for 2. Stack it up defensively in the shift on the right side for Drew again. He fouls it back. There's the shift. Leave Kawasaki on the left side of the infield and bring Reyes to the right side.
And they mix it up a little bit. Been different tonight with Kawasaki at third base instead of second base.
And there for a strike with Kawasaki over the shortstop spot. Well down the line comes Napoli. Dancing his way down the line. Outside, and it's 1-2.
Get down that line as far as you can. If you Mike Napoli and a ball that gets away from the catcher doesn't have to get that far away for you to score.
Drew fouls it off. Still 1-2. Even 100 pitches now for Happ. Kind of wondered what his pitch count would be tonight in between starts, but he is going to go up over 100. Trying to work his way through this 6th inning. Up and away, and it is 2-2. Red Sox leaving a base runner at third in the 4th, a third in the 5th. They got a base runner at third here in the 6th inning. Total of 6 men left on base through the first 5. The foul tips it, stays alive.
A foul ball right there by Drew. That's pretty nasty. A pitch on the outside part of the plate. It's certainly a strike. You have to swing at it. And Drew able to foul it off.
Drew strikes out. Haps out of it again. 1-0 Toronto through 5.5. Red Sox top of the Jays order. Jose Reyes to lead it off for Toronto. Jake Peavy back on the mound. That was pitch number 69 of his outing tonight. Reyes 0 for 2. Fly to right, popped out to second base. Only 3 hits allowed by Peavy tonight. Jumps ahead, 1-2. Walk to the number 9 man, Anthony Gose, proved costly in the third. The run of the game, as it turns out, so far, and this will kick off Ross. Gose would steal second base after the walk, and then came in on a base hit by Melky Cabrera off the leg of Jake Peavy. Breaking ball, lifted foul again. Still 2-2. Melky Cabrera, then Jose Bautista for the Blue Jays here in the 6th inning. Reyes to right field, struck well. Back goes Victorino, and that'll get out of here. Home run number 8 of the year for Jose Reyes, and a 2-0 Blue Jays lead.
Reyes, one of those guys that has to really pick up the slack with all the injuries, and this time does it with the long ball. Peavy trying to sneak that fastball by him. It was supposed to be away. It stays inside. And Reyes hooks it out of the ballpark.
Now Cabrera lines one down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Jumps up into the seats. Ground rule double for him. And to second base he goes.
The Red Sox better get something going in the bullpen in a hurry, because this is happening in a hurry. Cabrera jumping on the first pitch from Peavy. Cut fastball right down the line and bouncing into the stands.
Now Jose Bautista. Cabrera at second base and nobody out. Run in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bautista with a single his last time up to left. 1 for 2 night. Swinging a miss there for Bautista. He was swinging for the downs right there.
And Bautista looking inside, got a cut fastball away, and really not even that close to making contact.
To right field, sending Victorino back. He'll have room. Makes the catch in front of the track. Tagging at second is Cabrera. Throw going that way, but it's cut off, and he's to third with 1 out. Time for a Toyota game break at Tom Caron. TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. As the Rays sliding behind the Red Sox in the American League East to start the day. The Rays 8 games back of the Orioles. Red Sox 7.5. Right now, the Jays threatening again here in Toronto with Cabrera at third base, 1 out. There's Deanna Navarro with the infield in for Boston. And Navarro takes strike 1. A double in the second, grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. Dustin McGowan now the action in the pen, the right-hander. Happ throwing 103 pitches through 6 innings. To right and deep. Victorino will watch this one go. 2-run shot for Deanna Navarro, his 7th of the year. And now the Blue Jays enjoy a 4-0 lead. 2 home runs in his 6th inning off Jake Peavy.
And again, it looks like it might have been a mislocation from Peavy. Yep, they want the ball away. It stays inside. That's twice. It happened with Reyes, and now it happens with Navarro. You don't always get beat on mislocation, but it doesn't help.
Kobe Rasmus. He's had a tough time tonight with Peavy. Striking out in the 2nd, then again in the 4th inning. And think of all the opportunities the Red Sox have had tonight. 7 men on base. Unable to get to Happ tonight, and now the Blue Jays tack on some more.
I'm really surprised there's no action in the bullpen right now, because it is deflating what has happened to Peavy this inning, combined with the fact that the Red Sox have not scored.
It's 4 batters given up. Home run, a double, did get the fly out to right, then another home run. Rasmus did not go as they checked with Larry Van Over, third base umpire. Fouled off to the left, will do it again. Well, hey, Red Sox Nation, want the inside scoop from Dunkin' Donuts? Follow at Dunkin' Boston on Twitter for tweets about exclusive contests, news, and more happening in Boston, Worcester, Cape Cod, Southern New Hampshire, and everywhere in between. Follow at Dunkin' Boston on Twitter today. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'. 2-2 pitch. And that is the 3rd time tonight Rasmus has struck out. Peavy gets his 7th strikeout, 2 down.
He's got him on 3 different pitches. He got him on a curveball in his 1st strikeout, a fastball on the 2nd strikeout, and now a changeup for his 3rd strikeout against Rasmus.
Nika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 2 outs here in the 6th inning for Juan Francisco. Struck out in the 2nd, fouled out in the 5th. And take strike 1. Three and 1 now to Francisco. He's got the hitter's count here. With Minori Kawasaki waiting on deck. Doesn't give him the fastball. Goes to the breaking ball, misses, and down to first goes Francisco. The Liverpool Football Club returns to Boston to face AS Roma tomorrow for Buick football at Fenway. Match will feature two of the most prominent clubs in Europe. Tickets are on sale now. Go to redsox.com/football at Fenway to get your tickets today. Finally some action now in the Red Sox pen. It's like Felix Dubron is first up for Boston. We saw Felix come into the game very impressively in last night's game. Got a 1-2-3 inning and back up again in the pen. Just did get up. Kawasaki taking ball one. He has struck out and walked in the game. Peavy walking Juan Francisco. It's a third walk given up by Peavy in this contest. Now he'll check on him. Didn't have a very big lead.
I don't think we'll see Francisco running. He has not stolen a base this season. He's been caught twice.
To center field. Polk was playing shallow. He's got to go back. Still going, but he'll get there. A 3-run bottom of the 6th inning for the Blue Jays. 2 homers and a 4-0 Toronto lead. Giving up 3 runs in that bottom of the 6th inning on 2 home runs. As this call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local New England Ford dealers. Dustin McGowan checks in for Jay Happ as McGowan is in his 33rd game of the year. 4-3 with a 4.16 earned run average, 46 strikeouts to 26 walks, and opponent sitting at 255 against McGowan. Well, Happ worked his way out of some trouble innings and a taxing 103 pitches tonight for Happ, but 6 shutout innings, 7 hits. He walked a batter and struck out 4 and has the chance to pick up his 8th win of the year. Now Xander Bogaerts leading it off in the 7th. Xander is grounded to short and flied out to center. That's a strike, and it's a ball and a strike.
And McGowan, a former starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, moved to the bullpen and has been very effective out of the bullpen.
Opposition hitting at 188 against him out of the pen. Last year, 2.59 ERA out of the pen, as this one fouled off by Bogaerts. He had 93 pitches through the first 6 innings, gave up just the 1 run on 3 hits in the first 4 innings, but Blue Jays getting to him for 3 runs in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. Bogaerts down on strikes. McGowan gets him to begin the 7th inning.
A lot of times when Bogaerts strikes out, it's on a slider that's away. This time it's a fastball that's away to pick up the strikeout. Bogaerts now with 91 strikeouts on the season.
One down here in the 7th. David Ross is on a nice night tonight, 2 for 2. Singling in the 3rd, doubling in the 5th. He'll take strike 1. More action for the Jays in the pen. Brett Cecil back up again, the left-hander. Over the years, McGowan as a starter, as you mentioned, Jerry, best year he had was 07 as a starter for the Jays. Made 27 starts that year, won 12 games. He's 12 and 10. Otherwise, under 500 each season as a starter.
Some guys just find their niche, you know, when they move to the bullpen. It just seems to be much easier for them. They know they're not going to be in there for a very long time. They can let it loose.
Ross goes around and strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for McGowan. 2 outs in the 7th inning.
And got Bogaerts on a fastball, gets Ross on a slider that time, but both pitches away from Red Sox hitters. There's the hard slider down and away. Never really had any part of the plate, but chased by David Ross.
Two outs in the 7th. Brock Holt 0 for 3. It's bounced to short, bounced into a double play, and grounded out to second. The Gomez Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, tomorrow at 6:30. TC and Steve Lyons will preview Clay Buchholz's start and look at the tight American League East. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Buchholz going tomorrow here for the Red Sox, game 3 of the series. Matched up against R.A. Dickey. On the ground, foul outside of first base. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit www.alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. All right, Dickey 7 and 10 on the year, 3.95 ERA. Burke Badenhop now up in the pen. Inside out swing, fouls it off to the left. Still 2-2. On the ground, soft with a shift on, charging his Goins. His throws in time, and the inning is over. 7th inning stretch with the Jays on top 4-0. Smoothly like Swing Line's Fusion Laminators, a super fast, super easy way to laminate and protect your best work. Order yours today from Who by W.B. Mason. 4-0 Jays on top. Jake Peavy back out there. Strike one to Ryan Goins. Goins has struck out and grounded out. Wyatt waves at that pitch and is down 0-2. Kirk Badenhop still warming in the Boston pen as Peavy begins the 7th. If you haven't heard, NESN has been celebrating 30 years in the business. Visit NESN.com/NESN30 to look back at the most memorable moments in the past 30 years on NESN. No 2 pitch. To shallow left center. Over is Holt calling and catching the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay tuned tonight following W.B. Mason Extra Innings Live for Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. Send your questions to Tom at #SoxFinal. Maybe yours will be answered on Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. One down in the 7th inning. Anthony Ghost, the batter. Shows bunt and runs up there but takes a ball. Bunted this, but popped it up foul, backing out of play.
Determined to try to get one down that third baseline.
Ewan Bogart's charging in.
Artificial surface. Very fast, but goes a couple of attempts at it.
We'll try it again. This time by the mound, by the dive of Peavy. That'll be very nicely done. After a couple of bad attempts, that was a really good one. And a base hit for Ghost.
He had his mind made up, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That he somehow, in that at bat, was going to get himself a bunt base hit. And not a great bunt. I mean, he bunted it up in the air, and just fortunate for him, it got over the head of Peavy. And from that point, Pedroia really cannot do much with it at all. But you don't want to be popping those bunts up, and that's exactly what he did. But it did get over the head of Peavy for the base hit.
Well placed. With one out in the inning, he's aboard. Was a threat to steal. He did steal back in the third inning. Top of the order, Jose Reyes coming up. Reyes started the big inning for the Blue Jays in the 6th with a home run.
And you got to pay attention to Ghost at first base. He does already have a steal in this game.
Good sized lead already at first base for Ghost. We'll check on him. Back to the bag. Reyes with his 8th home run of the year, his solo shot in the 6th inning. It's made it 2-0. First pitch swinging that time against Peavy in the 6th. A throw over before Ghost could even get his lead. Closer that time, but back safely again.
And all the throwovers really has not shortened up the lead at all of Anthony Ghost.
Swing and a miss. And a full there, 1-1.
It's like Reyes was surprised to see a pitch after all those throws to first base.
Caught him off guard. Fouls this one back and is down 1-2. Owens flying out to begin the inning to center field. A bunt single by Anthony Ghost. And Reyes down to the count 1-2 with Melky Cabrera waiting on deck. In the dirt, and Ross hopping up there, blocks it.
I think the reason that Ross was ready to throw, thinking Ghost might go, and it was also a changeup, so he knew he'd have to be very quick in his transfer.
Ghost not going off the end of the bat. This spins its way out to Bogarts, who has no chance. Rounding second too much that time was Ghost to get back safely. Peavy can't believe it and is barking in the direction of Angel Hernandez. This will bring Farrell out as well. He rounded the bag almost too far, but is able to get back apparently.
A good heads-up play by Bogaerts there, as he knows he has no play at first base, so he tries to go back as Ghost was rounding second. Takes a peek, he sees where he is, makes the throw back, and the safe call from Hernandez. I don't know if the tag was ever made by Dustin Pedroia. Sweep tag, and it looks like maybe he didn't make contact with him.
John Farrell is not going to challenge. He is going to make a pitching change, however. With runners at first and second and one down. That's the night for Jake Peavy. But Badenhop will be coming in for Boston, with the Red Sox trailing right now 4-0. Coffee K-Cup packs will keep you running and guarantees to satisfy any fan base. Order by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Who but W.B. Mason? And Jake Peavy done after 6 1/3 so far, charged with 4 runs. Responsible for 2 men on as Burke Badenhop takes over. 44th appearance, 0-2 with a 2.91 earned run average. Opponent sitting at 291 against the right-hander. Dealing with Melky Cabrera with 1 out. Ghosts at second, Reyes at first. Runners are going. The throw to third is going to be not in time. Double steal for the Blue Jays.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the ballgame, Don, how this Blue Jay club may have to change their approach a little bit, and this is really changing their approach. A double steal, left-handed hitter at the plate, wide open lane and throw, but the throw's going to be high. And Ghost in at third base, Reyes at second, so 2 more men in scoring position.
Cabrera will take a ball, that infield in all the way around now. Jumps ahead here 2-0. Cabrera the double his last time up, a 2-hit night. Single back in the third. Tune in tonight after our Red Sox coverage in Essence Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Jameson and Jamie will have a preview of Buick football at Fenway and a look at the latest trade news around the majors. See what know-how can do.
Badenhop very fortunate on that last pitch, got away with a high changeup that was fouled back by Cabrera.
Cabrera off the Badenhop, kicks to third. Bogarts will have to go to first, and Napoli can't dig it out. Run scores. Everybody's safe, and the Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead.
I don't know, Don, but for me, I think he still had to play at the plate. He looks that way, looks to second, no play there, goes to first, bounces it to Napoli. And all heck is broken loose here in the Rogers Center. There's nobody covering second base, obviously, because the infield's playing in. So that was two different looks, then finally the throw to first base and bounced it.
So first and second now, and Jose Bautista the batter. Lined in left field for a base hit. Reyes will stop at third. Bases loaded for Toronto. Second hit of the night for Bautista.
Now the Blue Jays have waited a while in this game, but they are really swinging the bats right now in the 6th and 7th inning. That ball an absolute rocket by Bautista.
So bases loaded, one out. Felix Dubron back up again for Boston. They gave Cabrera credit for a hit on that play at third base. And an RBI for Cabrera. Base is now loaded. Blue Jays on top 5-0. And Gianna Navarro the batter. Run in, charge to Peavy, and Jake still responsible for Reyes, who's now at third base. Badenhop wants to talk to Ross. Gianna Navarro back in the 6th inning off Jake Peavy, part of that 3-run 6th inning. That is 7th home run of the year. That made it 4-0 at the time. They've added another run here in the 7th. Now looking for more.
That's another changeup that stayed up high for Badenhop's thrown a couple since he's been in this ball game that have been up, but fortunately he has not been hurt by it. Changeup right here that stays up above belt high. Straight back from Navarro.
Now a hard hit ball to second. Pedroia to second for one. On to first for two, and a double play for Badenhop to get out of any further trouble, but a run for the Jays. 5-0 Toronto. starters against the Red Sox. Ventura with Kansas City and Hutchinson with Toronto. Each allowed a career high 9 hits and 6 runs in back-to-back games. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is a refreshing hard iced tea. Tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. But a different story tonight. Red Sox not been able to score. The Blue Jays now have a 5-0 lead into the 8th inning. McGowan back out there for the Jays. The second inning of relief at a 1-2-3 7th inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Eric Loop, the left-hander, up for Toronto as the inning begins. Dustin Pedroia struck out in the first inning, grounded out in the 4th before walking in the 5th inning. Ball to strike now to Pedroia. Ortiz and Napoli to follow. What's your record right now for the Jays? Their starter Jay Happ. 6 shutout innings tonight for Happ. Threw 103 pitches in his 6 innings of work. Pedroia to third base, and Kawasaki handles on number 1. One of the quiet ways the Red Sox Foundation contributes to Boston is by supporting the Dimmick Center, which provides innovative, comprehensive, holistic health to thousands of families. We thank H.B. Hood, who helps make the Dimmick Center a beneficiary of the Red Sox Foundation. 1 out in the 8th, and David Ortiz coming up. David with a double back in the 4th inning and a 1-for-3 night. The list tonight, Red Sox all-time home run leaders. David in a Red Sox uniform at 395. Nice at 382. Evans at 379. On the strike now to David Ortiz. Ortiz hits this out towards deep left center field, back towards the wall, and it's gone. David Ortiz with a solo shot with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Hits his 23rd home run of the year, and the Red Sox are on the board. It's now 5-1 Toronto.
Excuse me, whatever David Ortiz did in extra batting practice yesterday, it certainly has paid off. 2 home runs last night, a double to the opposite field, now a home run to the opposite field. Fastball away. Ortiz is not trying to pull it. He goes with it. And plenty of pop the other way.
One down, a run in. Mike Napoli, the batter. Let's say ball 1 away. Napoli has fly to right twice and singled to center field. 1 for 3 night. To third, a foul ball. Saki making the play, but the call coming from Larry Vanover, third base umpire.
Waited till that ball crossed the bag, then made the foul call.
In the dirt for ball 2, 2-1. Now he came into the game in the 7th, was able to strike out Bogarts and Ross. Holt to ground out, got Pedroia ground out to begin this inning with a home run by David Ortiz. Strike call. Napoli doesn't like that at all. Ball 3, full count. Red Sox a lot of chances earlier in this game. Bases loaded in the 4th. Stephen Drew flied out to left. Drew would come up with runners at first and third in the 6th inning and strike out. Boston leaving 7 men on through the first 7 innings. To right field, on the move is Bautista to make the catch. 2 down. Well, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Men's Warehouse, proudly introducing Joseph Aboud. TC and Steve Lyons will have Peter Abraham with the latest from the Sox clubhouse. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. on NESN. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Nava was introduced as the pinch hitter for Gomes, and John Gibbons going to make a move here. He's had Aaron Loop warming in the pen. And Gibbons out there with 2 outs in the 8th inning to make the change. 5-1 Blue Jays on top. Red Sox getting on the board. Sox 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. And Daniel Nava pinch hitting for Johnny Gomes. Chops it to third. Picked on the half hop by Kawasaki. Throws out Nava. And Aaron Luke gets out of it on one pitch. 5-1 Blue Jays. Back in the top of the 8th, Daniel Nava pinch hit, stays in the game in left field. And the Red Sox have their third pitcher of the night on the mound now. It's Felix Dubron. Pitches for the second straight night. And his 15th appearance overall. 2-4 with a 5.08 earned run average. 41 strikeouts. The 23 walks and opponents hitting at 259 against Dubron. Now all the runs the Blue Jays have charged to tonight's Red Sox starter Jake Peavy. 6 1/3, giving up 8 hits and 5 runs. Walked 3, struck out 7, and is on the hook. He came into this game 1-8 on the year. Did not went 2/3 of an inning. Got that double play to get out of any further damage in the 7th. And now Dubron dealing with Kobe Rasmus to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th. Dubron throwing a scoreless 8th inning last night. 2 strikeouts. First appearance of the second half. This marks his 5th relief appearance. Casey Jansen up in the pen for the Jays. That's a strike. 2-1. Incidentally, on that home run by David Ortiz, now 3 home runs in the last 2 nights. He's tied Alex Rodriguez for the most by a visitor. It's 36 home runs now here at the Rogers Center for David Ortiz. He tied Adam Dunn tonight, 454 home runs, but Adam Dunn has also gone deep tonight. So there's ball 4 to Rasmus, just missing, and he'll head down to first base. But don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. The guys will break down Jake Peavy's start tonight. Have John Farrell's post-game comments. Can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason.
And David Ortiz must get the schedule at the beginning of the season and take a peek at when they're going to make their visits to Toronto. Great success in this ballpark for him.
Breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Juan Francisco. Struck out in the second, fouled out in the fifth, and then walked in the sixth inning.
Now DeBron going with the fastball up in the zone that time to Francisco to get the swing and miss.
Swing and a miss there to strike out. So DeBron battles back with a strikeout for the first out of the inning.
Cut fastball from DeBron this time, keeping it away from Francisco. Good cut right at the end of that to pick up the strikeout.
Pinch hitter coming up here for the Blue Jays for Kawasaki. It was Steve Tollefson. Saw him into last night's game. .250 average, 3 homers and 12 runs batted in for Tollefson. He'll take strike 1. Rasmus with a leadoff walk to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th inning, but Francisco could not advance a base runner as he strikes out. Tollefson takes ball 1.
A couple of pitches that could have gone DeBron's way in this inning, but have not been called strikes.
Swing and a miss. Pitch down and into him. 1-2.
Last couple of nights, DeBron, even though he hasn't had a lot of work, has shown a pretty good curveball.
Runner goes. Pitches inside. No throw from Ross, and uncontested stolen base for Rasmus. Blue Jays have been running tonight. They have 4 stolen bases in the game.
And that was certainly stolen on Felix Dubron. I mean, Ross had absolutely no chance. First move from Dubron, and off goes Rasmus to second base. He could have stood up.
Tollefson with a swing and a foul tip to stay alive. Have a son or daughter who want to learn more about baseball or their favorite Red Sox players? Now you can. Check out NESSONClubhouse.com. Has videos, games, and a whole lot more. It's fun, free, and easy to use. NESSONClubhouse.com. Outside to Tollefson, full count. Rasmus walked to begin the inning. Francisco struck out, a stolen base for Rasmus. Now a payoff pitch to Tollefson. And it's grounded foul. Allison grounds one up the middle. Diving is Drew. Gets up and throws in time. Nice play by Stephen Drew. On to third base goes Rasmus, but Drew right there saving a run.
Great anticipation by Stephen Drew going into the dive and quickly back to his feet to make that throw to first base. Bounces right back up. And the over-the-top throw to first base to get the out, and does save a run.
Two down, Rasmus at third base. Ryan Goins the batter. Goins 0 for 3 in his return to the major leagues. Called up today from Buffalo, struck out, grounded out, flied out to center. This is hit sharply by Pedroia at second base into right. Then from third comes Rasmus. The Blue Jays get their 6th run of the night. It's 6-1. Hot shot off the bat of Ryan Goins.
Yeah, that probably goes a base hit, I would think, to Goins. It was hit so hard. Very little reaction time for Pedroia at second base. Top spin line drive that's going to bounce in front of Pedroia. He goes down to one knee to try to knock it down, but it gets by him.
So 2 down, Goins at first base, a run in. Anthony Ghost the batter. Ghost been on twice, a walk and a bunt single. He's also scored 2 runs in the game. They'll take strike 1 from Felix Dubron. So 5 runs charged to Peavy tonight, and now Dubron has been touched for a run here in the bottom of the 8th. Line and into left field for a base hit. Up to second base goes Goins, and back-to-back hits here for the 8-9 men in the Blue Jays order.
A nice night for Ghost offensively out of that 9 spot. A walk, a bunt single, and now a line drive up over the head of Stephen Drew on the breaking ball. Drew going up as high as he can go, but not high enough.
2 on, 2 down. Blue Jays looking to add on Jose Reyes. 2 hits tonight, including a home run. Drives this down the left field line. This will get in, and one hop the wall. 1 run is in, and that's all the Blue Jays will be able to tack on. It's an RBI double for Reyes, 3rd hit of the night, and the Blue Jays lead it 7-1.
Switching around to the right side of the plate for the first time tonight. First pitch swinging. One hops that wall. Now he gets it back in quickly. 1 run can score. That's it. All Blue Jays in this one tonight.
Out there to talk it over with runners at second and third. 2 runs in, 2 outs in the inning, and Melky Cabrera coming up. Strike one. We hit night tonight for Cabrera. 2 singles and a double. Top 2 guys in the order with 6 hits, Reyes and Cabrera. Blue Jays as a team with 13 in the game. Chop to third, tough hop, but Bogaerts grabs it, fires to first for the out that ends the inning. 7-1, the lead now for the Blue Jays at the end of 8. The hook right now for the Red Sox as they dropped to 1-9 on the year. Big night tonight for the Blue Jays offense. Shane Victorino leading it off against a new pitcher, Casey Janssen. Some changes for the Jays. Steve Tollefson staying in the game after pinch hitting for Kawasaki. Breaking ball fouled back, and it's 0-2. Janssen, the closer for the Jays. 14 out of 16 at save opportunities. Obviously just getting some work here tonight. It comes in with a 6-run advantage. Oh-2 pitch. Line to left, and this will be a foul ball. Of 24 appearances this year for Casey Janssen have been scoreless. This one fouled off to the right out of play. Since the beginning of last year, he's converted 48 of 52 save opportunities.
When you look around the league, Don, you really don't think of him as one of the elite closers.
But he's been very good.
He's been very, very good.
Stephen Drew, then Xander Bogaerts expected here in the 9th. 2-2 pitch. Lined into left, and it's a fair ball. Melky Cabrera over to play it as Victorino pulls it up with a single. Third hit of the night for Shane Victorino. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by the new Scion TC, Sullivan Tire and Auto Repair, your New England Ford dealers, and by Audi. Base hit for Victorino.
Yeah, very nice night for Victorino. The 3 hits, 3 for 4 in the game. Swung the bat very well since returning to the Red Sox lineup.
Well, Stephen Drew 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. In the air to right field for Drew. Hit well to right. And Bautista looking up as Stephen Drew hits a 2-run home run. Well, the Red Sox now with 3 runs in the game. It's 7-3. Single and a home run for Boston on Casey Jansen here in the 9th.
Well, Drew struggled tonight against the left-handed pitcher, but he gets a chance against the right-handed Jansen and hooks that fastball for the home run. So a couple of home runs for Drew over the last 2 games.
Now Xander Bogaerts 0 for 3. Takes strike 1. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit www.alltown.com for an Alltown location near you. Bogaerts pops it up. Down from first comes Francisco. He'll put it away for the first out of the 9th. One down for David Ross. 2-hit night tonight for Ross. Single to center in the 3rd. Double to right in the 5th. Strike 1. On the ground up the middle, and David Ross has got himself a 3-hit night.
He is still having a very difficult time getting down to first base, too, on that ground ball up the middle for his 3rd hit of the night. Top spin ground ball up the middle. You can see Ross really hurting as he's going down that first base line. It's been amazing to me that he stayed the whole game. Now we're going to get Jackie Bradley Jr. pinch running at first base.
One out. Bradley now running at first, and Brock Holt coming up. Holt's 0 for 4 in the ball game tonight, rounding out 4 times. A 7-game hitting streak on the line for Holt coming into tonight's game. He takes strike 1. outside, 2-1. Nothing the sharpest we've seen Casey Janssen.
Now you wonder, coming in with the big lead that he had. Those 2 runs right now in the 8th inning looking a little bigger.
Ball's behind. Hold now, 3-1. Dustin Pedroia waiting on deck. Blue Jays do have more action in their pen. Ball 4, and he walks Brock Holt. So with 1 out, Red Sox have runners at first and second, and John Gibbons had this all but wrapped up heading into the 9th inning, but all of a sudden the Red Sox making some noise. Single and then a 2-run home run. Bogarts did pop out, but David Ross with a single. Bradley runs for him. Brock Holt walks. Pedroia takes strike 1. And Brett Cecil up in the pen again for the Jays. 3rd time he's been up. Casey Janssen was ill coming after the All-Star break. During the All-Star break, had food poisoning during a trip to the Dominican Republic, and has been weak the last couple of days. But pitching tonight, not pitching well, as that pitch is in there for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch to Dustin Pedroia. In the air to right field. Playable for Bautista. Out number 2 of the 9th. 1-2 down. David Ortiz coming up. And John Gibbons heading out to the mound. David Ortiz with a home run in the 8th inning, his 23rd of the year. Well, the Red Sox on the board, they've tacked on 2 more, and he'll be looking for more. Now as John Gibbons heads out to make the change. Making some noise here in the ninth, though, as Brent Cecil, the left-hander, comes in. David Ortiz with a swing and a miss for strike one. Brent Cecil, the fifth pitcher of the night, used for the Jays. 40th appearance, 0-3. 3.82 earned run average. Opponent sitting at 256 against Cecil. David Ortiz 4 for 20 in his career against Cecil. He does have a home run against Cecil. Shot to third base. Tollison's going to tag the bag. Ball game over. So the Red Sox, who had such a great night last night, cannot put together the same kind of offense tonight. The Blue Jays win it 7-3 as we send it to Tom Caron.